Hello, this is McMulligan with another episode of Dark Souls. This time we're going to be taking a trip down to a bit of a different area, kind of offshoot from Blighttown itself. If you're curious where I'm at currently, if you remember where all the slugs were, it's just up this tree branch along the side of it. Or I guess tree... tree root. Tree root. Come over here. Hidden wall. And behind it will be a chest. Twins with some twin humanities in it. Open that up. Go even further in. Now there are going to be some dangerous things down in here. That is like definitely not an understatement. There's going to be a lot of basilisks down here and a lot of these shroom people. Honestly, I have no idea what the shroom people are. My only assumption can be weird fantasy creature. I'm sure they probably have some bit of lore somewhere. I'm not sure if it's this game that they get explained at all. I think they get a bit more of an explanation in Dark Souls 2 because there's a lot more of them in that game. Oh, the crystal lizard disappeared. Oh well. Should still have plenty of upgraded material even with missing a few lizards here and there. Now I know I'm not collecting as many of the items from this area, but I'm going to come back later when I have far more resistance to everything and do that. I just want to show off the area proper, and then I will like we'll look at some of the items. Like I'll probably have a video dedicated to some of the items that I didn't collect purposely just because of the areas they were in. And we'll just go over that then, or at least I'll read over the items and figure out which ones are actually relevant and have anything interesting written about them. Because a lot of it's just kind of, there are some that's just like, this is a weapon, you know, it, does this kind of damage. There's a lot of descriptions like that, but there are also a fair amount of descriptions that give a little bit of an insight to the world. Just gotta be on the lookout for what's actually relevant. Pretty sure he just killed himself. That he did. Now there's like a mini boss when we get down to the bottom of this. It's not that very difficult to deal with, at least if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it's a massive pain in the ass. But it's a boss that, like, you fight a mini boss you face 2 times in this game, and the other one's actually you can face far earlier than this one. And I usually do in my standard playthroughs, but I'm saving in that one for when we go to the Darkroot Basin. And we'll see all about that area when we get there, but if you're curious what we're actually inside of, we're inside of one of the arch trees. Or at the very least one of the cousins to the arch tree. But I think these are like proper arch trees. Don't completely quote me on that, I would fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I think the trees up above are the ones that are distant cousins of the arch trees. As many basilisks as I remember down here. Another Eye of Death. Oh wait, there are more below us, aren't there? There are indeed. Is there a way I can just let go? How about we just get out of here? I don't feel like dealing with these basilisks on these platforms. Usually I'll kill them when I'm going through, but This area's always been one of those iffy areas to me where it can go well most of the time, but then you'll always have that one run or two where it just won't go very shittily. Like, you'll get, like, most of the way down the tree, and then all of a sudden something will just off you because, you know, that's your luck that day. Looks like I'm gonna be ignoring the shroom people for the most part. They're not really worth the soul gain, and they're really tanky. And they also do a lot of damage to you. Especially the big ones like that one. So we're just gonna go through and avoid this conflict altogether. Besides, the things that are actually relevant down here we're about to see soon enough. As well as a music change. Welcome to what's holding the world up. Well, the thing I always wondered is where's all the light coming from if it's basically all closed off? Remnants of the arch trees. With a little bonfire in the center. Now this place is very good for a few different reasons. There's a covenant down here. You can get one of the dragon weapons down here. And there's also a little mini boss that we're about to go fight. As well as some interesting and a very interesting environment. Because this is below the world entirely. Like, we just climbed all the way down through that tree to get down here. But some of the few dragons left reside down here where the arch trees are. Mostly because there's no other place for them to really go. Yeah, so basically, how you fight this guy is just keep your shield up. You don't want to be too far from him or he'll do his little Hydra spill thing. Even then, he can still get through your defense sometimes, depending on where he hits you. The less heads he has, the less likely he is to do that, though. Or rather, I should say, the less of a chance he has to do that. Yeah, you don't want him to do that. Instead, you want him to, like, kind of, like, attack you with all the heads. Yeah, now I remember. It's best to stay down here. Because if he gets through your defense, it'll do damage to you. This is also the way you fight the other one in the Darkwood Basin, more or less. Oh, god damn it, he still got me. Can I get some of these heads off, please? You know, this is like the first time I've had trouble with, like, him, like, getting through my defense like that. Why is it that, like, literally this run has gotten the worst of all of my runs? Because I'm distracted in speaking and I'm just not thinking of certain strategies, I'm not even sure at this point. Wow, he actually avoided me entirely there. Well, you know what, we're gonna stand right here then. Okay, that's a good spot. No, not kick him, cut at him. So, you're gonna lose any of your heads soon? Normally I would have cut off a head by now. Ah, there he goes. Well, I guess with that central head, it's a little harder for you to hit me, isn't it? Oh, damn. And this is getting surprisingly difficult to hit him. I don't remember them usually being this hard to deal with. It's funny because, like, I literally... Because I did a run of this game, like, about a few months back, and I did not struggle as much with it then. Again, it might just be because I'm recording. Although, I wouldn't really say I'm struggling, though, but... It's not going as well as it normally goes. That being said... This fight's still going relatively smoothly, I'd say. I mean, had a bit of a... Never mind. Not going smoothly at all. I stepped a little too far forward. That was my fuck up, no one else's. Although, something to note that he is a dragon, however. I wonder if gold pine resin would be effective on him. What? Wait, is it just a straight drop-off at that one point? There's not even any, like, shoreline there? What the fuck? I don't remember there being a drop-off just randomly right there. Like, there's always been, I mean, there's a drop-off once you get out into the water, but right on the edge of the beach? No. Am I just blind or something? I guess I am. Come on. Come on, attack. Ow. I think the thing is I'm normally using a tower shield by this point, which means that I have a lot more, stability. So, like, I'm able to, like, block all the attacks. You know, like, 'cause I do a lot of strength builds. I mean, I don't do only strength builds, but if I was, like, say, a pure caster, I'd be hitting this guy from, like, a really long range. I have to, like, heal every fucking time. Oh, he threw me off that time. Alright, I'm gonna just, like, cut these out until we've basically dealt with them. And we're back, and he's finally dead. So what I ended up having to do was, I had to, like, sit there and go, like, through 5 different runs to try to figure out where exactly a safe spot was for the whole fight. But, with enough trial and error, well, anything's possible in this game. Normally when I, usually take this on, even if I'm doing, like, well, actually, if I'm doing, like, a mage run, like, say if I'm playing a sorcerer, I'll usually, stand back from a pretty long distance away and shoot him. But if I'm doing like a melee build of any kind, like even if it's like Dex, I still usually pull out a tower shield in a lot of those builds just because it's nice to use against bosses especially and bigger enemies like that. Especially the better tower shields in the game, so it kind of makes it to where like you don't really have him, even if like he hits you multiple times, if you have a good enough of a tower shield and endurance, it doesn't really get through your defense. But I've gone with a more, well, I'm not quite as equipped like I am usually when going through this game in a melee build. Although I am using Pyromancy, but, Pyromancy is a little bit different from... Like, I usually attach it to my mundane builds anyway, just because you just kind of can due to it not really requiring stat requirements, but still. Alright, I used all my fireballs. So these things are... Oh, you know what? I'm not doing enough damage to that thing that I'd actually like to fight it. At least not just sit there for like 10 minutes. Let's just go ahead and get the item. Basically what these things are, there's like little crab creatures down here. But they also drop Twinkling Titanite when you can, or they can drop Twinkling Titanite. You can drop that and, I believe like Cure Stones or whatever they're called. They can basically drop this other item that can be used to, cure Curse. Because if you die from Curse, not only do you die there instantly once it procs up, your health is halved until you get that Curse cured. It is a awful status to have put on you. Probably the worst in the game, I'd say. They made it less powerful in 3. And I don't even remember if it exists in 2. I know it definitely exists in 3, and in 3 it still does that same effect, but like, base-wise, it's a lot harder to get cursed in 3 than it is 1. Don't know if it's gameplay mechanic or if there actually is any, well, actually, yes, because the Undead Curse is the strongest in the first game, so it might be the fact that curse-type things might be more powerful in this game compared to the other. At least if we're looking at it from a lore perspective. Now, in the more likely case, probably gameplay mechanics, but, you know, never hurts to actually think about it. Actually begs a question, because I was talking about, what was it, Astoria before? The ones that made the, lenses. It might have made the firebombs too, come to think about it. They're like creators and everything. So, welcome to I'm pretty sure this is one of like the only dragons left. There's no real point joining the Covenant right now. What we're actually here for is to do this. Even though I'm probably not going to use this weapon. Okay, how many swings of the sword is this going to take? The Dragon Great Sword. It's a very powerful weapon, but it swings incredibly slowly. Let's actually look at the item description for this one in particular. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, came from the tail of the stone dragon of Ashlake, descendant of the ancient dragons. Its great mystical power will be unleashed to one of the 2 ends. It's a very, interesting weapon. Not too insanely useful, but interesting. I believe there are some, other things to collect up in the trees above, I think. Pretty sure, anyway. Because there's that midway tree, and I believe there's some items in there as well, some more shroom people. But I think after that we'll probably end up ending there. as this is basically all there is to show of this area. Although, maybe I could... Nah, I'll save that for its own part. But yeah, this area is kind of very wide and open. There's only, like, other than the Hydra, there's only, like, 4 enemies on this entire map. And once the Hydra's dead, it's just dead. The dragons resided down here below. Back a second. Sorry about that, I had to mute myself for a second. Probably end up editing that out. I don't know. Actually, probably won't because I had myself muted. Anyway, there are a few items up in the tree up here. I think there is, anyway. Well, okay, was I bouncing off the tree or I'm pretty sure I was bouncing off the tree there. Oh god, no. Okay, even worse than the shroom people, it's basilisks. Freaking hate basilisks. All over the place. And they're just assholes. So is there like any way to get like over here? Because clearly there's an item up there, but there isn't really one in the room itself. I've been trying to figure out how to get to that item. I assume it probably there's some secret way somewhere else to get to it. At least that's the only thing I can think of. Anyway, I think that'll be it for today. As you can see, there's that giant skull over there. You know what, before we leave, let's go take a look at that. Yeah, that thing is huge, actually. Huh. I'm actually curious as to what this skull is. It looks like a giant... Well, it's a giant skull either way. It also has horns, like kind of demonic looking. I don't know, maybe it was the skull of some demon that was killed down here by the dragons at some point. Some very large and scary demon at that, if it has a head that huge. Anyway, I think that's all to really show here for now. This area doesn't have much in it, but I thought I'd show it in either case. Oh, actually there's an item up there, but I'll just grab that while I'm finishing up. But anyway, I think this is it. Next episode I'll be going back to Blighttown, and just going back up through the other way and showing that off, as well as probably handling some NPCs, so look forward to that when it happens. In either case, this has been McMulligan. Hope you all enjoyed the video and have a great day.